All right, today we're going to be answering your rapid fire breakup questions in our comments, volume 3. Now, if you aren't familiar with how this works, it's pretty simple. We take random questions in our YouTube comments section and make a whole video where I basically answer them. Now, I am the ones picking out the questions. I'm usually picking out ones that seemed interesting to me, but I've waited a couple of days since I last picked out these questions and I cannot remember any of them for the life of me. So you're gonna be getting real organic answers from me on the spot to get kind of an idea of, I guess, my skill level. But more importantly, you're gonna get your questions answered or at least alluded to being answered. Sometimes it's hard to answer in like a little bit of a, I'll shut up. Let's get into it. Jenny Jen asks, well, he is too determined to not contact me. I have reached out to him, but he never did, and he doesn't even respond to me. He broke up with me, so I guess he has got to keep his ego up. He really did change after breaking up with me, became super stubborn. All right, so basically, to me, it seems like you're having a really hard time of getting a response after the no contact rule. So I guess that'd be my first question for you. Number one is, did you complete a no contact rule? Because a lot of times that can make a difference in how your ex will respond to you or even if they will respond to you. The second thing is, almost always when we see people have poor responses, it's because their first contact text messages kind of suck. There's no hook into making them interesting. So a lot of times we're noticing that damsel in distress type text messages tend to work better. So I've got a huge problem at work. You're the only one I trust to fix it. Can you help? Stuff like that tends to get responses really well, and it kind of taps into an ex's hero complex, especially if they're a male. All right, cute lady says, so after the no contact rule, the people that do get their exes back, 50% of them end up breaking up again. Why is that? How do you not do that after a breakup? We need a video on that. Well, yeah, this is kind of one of the things that I think a lot of people sweep under the rug, which is the challenge of getting an ex back doesn't stop when you actually get them back. It kind of shifts into keeping them. And I think a lot of the reasons for why people continue this sort of self-fulfilling cycle is a lot of the reason that the breakup occurred in the first place haven't been solved. So one party, usually our clients, are willing to try to address them and solve them, but the other party really isn't. And I also think there's this shame of admitting to your ex that you used a program like our program. So a lot of times there's almost like this secret that you're holding from your ex, and they can kind of sense that. But more often than not, we're finding that there's problems that were present at the beginning of the relationship that one or both parties just simply can't get over. And really also, I think the thing that's lost on a lot of people is we train a lot of our clients to use the no contact rule and kind of play hard to get. Well, when you're in a relationship with your ex and they become your boyfriend or your girlfriend, the rules suddenly change. You're no longer supposed to play hard to get. It's all about how you communicate and empathizing with their point of view. Because if you empathize with their point of view, even if it's a wacky point of view, they're a lot more likely to be open to your point of view. There's kind of a mirroring aspect there. All right, John Welsh says, as much as that is all good, people who are engaged are still on the market. Not every engagement is because of good ideas. And if one were to add something here, do some videos on third parties and bad advice that results in breakups. We all too much move on and then come back around. Life is too short to keep making new mistakes. We should know that awaits us. All right, so basically what he's referring to here is a video I did on the types of exes you should not be trying to get back. And in one of those videos I said, if your ex is engaged, give up. Now, while John is technically correct, while not every engagement is sort of built in a strong way or is for a legitimate reason, I still feel morally it's the wrong thing to do to try to break up someone's marriage. So while he's technically right, I think the morality of it is sort of where I'm coming from, which is like, hey, if your ex is really engaged to someone else, you shouldn't be trying to get them back. So as far as what else he said with all of the third-party people giving bad breakup advice, that is a video that I should do. I'm a little hesitant to call competitors out for advice that I disagree with, because sometimes that advice that I disagree with can work. I just have found it's not the most effective way to approach the situation, but I will consider it. Real quick, I want to say that if you're new to this YouTube channel or you're trying to figure out what you should be doing to get your ex back and you're trying to learn if you even have a chance in your specific circumstance, probably the smartest thing for you to do is actually stop by our website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com, or take our Ex Recovery Chances quiz that can be found at exboyfriendrecovery.com. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, taking that free quiz is super easy to do. All you have to simply do is look in the description link below this YouTube video and click on the link you see there. It will take you directly to the quiz where you can fill it out and get an easy answer on what you should be doing going forward and overall what your chances look like in your specific situation. All right, so let's get you back to the video. Noob asks, can you do another video on dismissive avoidant exes? I'm pretty sure my ex is dismissive avoidant. Yeah, I mean, dismissive avoidant exes are among some of the most common exes that we deal with here on Ex-Boyfriend Recovery, Ex-Girlfriend Recovery, exboyfriend.com, all of our sort of breakup properties. Now, what I think is interesting about avoidance is there's this common misconception about how they think about relationships. So most of our clients have trouble thinking past their own worldview. What I mean by that is we find most of our clients tend to be anxious individuals. They tend to be individuals that value relationships so highly, it's almost like their entire lives. Avoidants do not value relationships more than themselves. They're inherently extremely selfish because they value their independence more than anything. So one of the reasons that we see a lot of breakups occur is because anxious people tend to want sort of like constant validation for how they're feeling from an avoidant, and the avoidant feels like, my gosh, you're harming my independence, and so they push them away. So what's important to understand is a lot of times with avoidance, the best way to handle them is to simply just give them time, because we do know that they almost need to believe that you have completely moved on for them before they give themselves permission to kind of remember those good times. So this is kind of one of the weird worldviews that we have to teach our clients, because our clients are so anxious in their thinking, they have a hard time thinking like, well, how can anyone think that way? But we have seen it time and time again and how effective it is. But to your point, I would love to make more dismissive avoidant videos. Shayna Perez says, can you make a video tailored to getting your ex back after a longer period of time, like 2+ years? We were together 1 year and we knew each other from high school. Okay, this is actually one of the more difficult situations there is. What she's referring to basically are situations where you've been broken up for years, and then you kind of get the itch to sort of like enter that relationship again. So what's really difficult about this is the fact that it kind of removes that immediate no contact rule threat. And saying this because one of the big things that we're learning, especially when you implement a no contact rule, is it's really about the mindset that you have after you exit the no contact rule more than anything else. And so I think that's where I would start for people who haven't talked to their exes and have been broken up for years. If you don't have the right mindset, if you aren't sort of willing to lose them, then you shouldn't talk to them. So even though you don't technically need to do a no contact rule because you've done one for years, my advice to you is it's still not good to talk to your ex unless you have that mindset where you're like literally like, okay, I'm trying this because I want to see if it will work, but I'm not going to be crushed if it doesn't work. So having that mindset is more important than anything else. And then just simply follow the strategies that we recommend, the value ladder, the value chain, things like that. Now, I got a question for you. Do you wonder exactly what your chances are of getting your ex back? Well, if you do, we've put together a special quiz on our website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com, where we basically answer this question for you. All you got to do is simply take the quiz and you'll get an idea of where you stand with your ex, and we'll give you a few ideas of the next steps you should be taking. So if you're interested in taking this quiz, simply look in the description below this YouTube video and click the link you see there. It will take you directly to the quiz where we will get you taken care of. Also, if you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. Every little bit helps. I'll see you guys next time.